Hello everyone, Mauricio here. Welcome to Tanks Invest, where we're going to talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's video is for entertainment purposes only. So the stock that we're going to talk about today would be NEO, ticker NIO. As you know, we've been seeing some sort of a sell-off across the board for multiple different stocks today, specifically in the high growth stocks that we've been seeing a lot of a downfall across the board today. So I'm going to go through specifically NEO, where I see with respect to some of the macroeconomical and microeconomical trends that's been affecting the stock price in a technical charts perspective. Also, to give you guys my optimal price level if you guys are interested in buying in at what certain price level to look out for, and also my year-end price target for 2021 as well. So stay tuned, stick around, and let's make some money. All right, so moving on to the neo technical analysis. Looking at a daily perspective, you could see that ever since in the morning, we were basically starting from the top at 3803 level. We had like some sort of a green pump because of mostly the retail investors, and then subsequent to that, we dipped immediately because the fund managers or big whale decided to sell. Which subsequently drove downwards and create this like pretty negative momentum across the board, both for Tesla and Neo. I believe this was like algo trade that happened and subsequently had like some sort of a domino effects across the board that subsequently drove this stock downward. And as we hit the 11 o'clock, that West Coast time effect, we saw like some of the West Coasters start buying in at the bottom, and we saw people coming in, and basically formed this V-shaped recovery, a pseudo semi recovery, if you may, and then went all the way back up to the 3706 level, and then sold off, and then bounced back up again. So definitely consolidating, and then around like the noon time period, lunchtime, people start selling off, chipping away, chipping away. A lot of day traders in this perspective here, based on just how it looks psychologically. And then throughout the day, we just see basically more of a escalator downward that by the time it hits almost like the power hour, about like the 3 o'clock, the 2:30 hour, we hit that bottom of 35.77, and then slowly go back up as we are closing as of the day, negative 2.73%, and after market hour, negative 0.16%. So definitely a bearish day, definitely a bloody day overall. Definitely bloody day throughout the week, as we've been basically selling off for the last couple of days, ever since Monday so far. So just looking at the daily chart right now, on the daily perspective, you could see that it's been pretty bearish overall, and I think we kind of saw this coming with respect to this rally that we saw from last year, Q3, Q4. We pumped it up basically from like the $13 level all the way to like the $66, $67 level, consolidated, and then sold off completely because of both a combination of multiple factors, right? One, chip shortage that create huge negative affectations across the board, and also with respect to the supplies that's going to be happening going forward in the production schedule. Also, with respect to a tax season is in Q1. Also, because of Q1, most automakers are, it's a down quarter for most automakers because people just don't really buy cars, around winter time and when it's cold. And also on top of that, NIO's a Chinese company. Q1 is the Chinese New Year, right? Or Lunar New Year. And basically in February, half of the month is basically people on vacation or people not working, right? So that also create a less of a time duration for productions, which subsequently create less earnings as well. And on top of that, because of a lot of the media affectation with respect to Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, with related to the monetary policies, how's that's going to be shaking out, that could affect the foreign exchange rates, with respect to the exports and import tax rates, and also as we learned recently from Biden about the corporate tax, and also with respect to the capital gains tax, that can also have a negative affectations to profit margins for a lot of corporations going forward, and for us, equity investors as well, which subsequently drove this huge massive sell-off, right? And ever since then, you could see that we've been basically bouncing very strongly at this level. The golden line that I drew here at the $34 level, we bounced once, basically somewhere around like the Black Swan events in March, ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting that Jerome Powell was giving. And also, you could see that we tested this level one time around like November last year, and then we had this dead cat bounce again. We subsequently bounced back again in March 29th, and then another dead cat bounce, and then slowly bounced back again into like mid-April because of the CPI report, and it bounced back up because the report came out very strong. Gave us more of a short-term economical positive outlook for a lot of public investors. That subsequently bounced back, but slowly sold off. People basically swing trading this stuff, and right now we are going downward again. And what I see for what I see for foresee this to be happening going forward is we're gonna go back down and retest this one more time ahead of the CPI report that we will be getting coming up, I believe in a week or so in mid-May. I think sometimes on May 12th, if I'm not mistaken. That makes sense, right? If you see the pattern right here, every single time we have the CPI report, we basically test that level, right, and we bounce. So contingent on the positive CPI report that we're going to be getting, contingent on no black swan events that we're going to be getting, and contingent on no more negative media affectations with respect to the chip shortage that we've been kind of baking in already, and contingent on no crazy announcements from the Federal Reserve or from Biden about like the tax yields and some of the financial adjustments that we'll be getting economically for the business as a whole going forward. We should see some sort of a rebound quite significantly late in Q2 and early in Q3, which I foresee that to be highly likely, knowing the fact that we've been testing this bottom 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and we're about to test this for the fifth time, right? And that forms a very strong resistance level that it doesn't go down unless it's some crazy events that's going to be happening, right? So overall, I'm still extremely bullish on this stock. You can see that RSI right now on a daily basis, highly oversold right now. It is trending more of a downward trend right now. We are seeing some sort of a relatively downward trend. Looking at the MACD, it is crossing downward from the signal line. So we are foreseeing some sort of a short-term downturn, which makes sense. We're going to hit that line again. So we will be retesting the $34 level again and then come back up, right? Obviously contingent on the factors that we just talked about. So look at tip ranks right now for NEO. You can see that with across the 10 analyst ratings with 7 buys and 3 holds. No one wants to sell. Everybody's very bullish on NEO apparently on Wall Street. The average level is going to be $60. So this will give you a 63% or a 64% upside from here if you buy now. And on the downside would be 38.80 cents, which is still higher than what the stock is currently trading at right now. I think NEO is just highly oversold. People overly reacting across the board. And that provides us a better opportunity to buy because like the company is a lot less risky than ever, even compared to like the wild Wall Street consensus right now, right? So definitely buying now. I'm highly bullish on NEO. I'm actually buying more and more and more shares on a daily basis. Dollar cost averaging down a lot more. So NEO is definitely a great play right now. And next 2 to 3 years, I foresee this to be 3-4x possibly from here, obviously. And on average, for high level in 12 months will be $81, which will give you like close to 100% on returns for your investment, which is just exponential, astronomical in my opinion. And I think that's highly doable. I think I actually foresee NEO to actually possibly hitting like $90 or even $100 sometimes in a year or two. So that wouldn't be surprising to me. All right, just to recap on all the numbers that we talked about today, across the board, I would say NEO right now at 36.50 would be a very, very attractive price point for us to get into. Again, right, on the technical analysis, on the charts that we've been seeing so far, we've been just highly overreacted and highly oversold so far in the last weeks and months so far. And the bottom resistance level is highly strong. Again, right, we've been retesting the $35 level for multiple times out, 4 times, and about to hit the 5th times coming up in like a week or two. So 36.50 is a great price point for get in. It will subsequently generate a great return down the road. In a year or two, at least 2x your money from there. But if we get down to 35.50, that's even the more of attractive price point. Again, right, 35 is basically the resistance level that we are forming several times now. And if we get to the 34.50, that's just extremely oversold. And I would totally just load up, and I've been loading up ever since. I've been buying more than ever. And to be honest with you, I've bought like 15,000 shares now. I know it sounds like a crazy number, but like this is just too good to be true, and this is just such a good price point. It Neo is becoming a lot less risky than ever. Obviously, if you were buying at like $67 level, I mean, you probably bag holding at the moment. But right now, with the proposition that the company stands for, with the macroeconomic growth going forward, the chip shortage is only a temporary thing, but it will fix itself later on in the future. So right now, when people are freaking out, when people are selling, this is the time to buy. And if you buy now, this will subsequently provide you 85%, not 85, $85 of the return by end of this year. And I stand for this. This will give you a 132, 133% upside, 2.3 times your money. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today to talk about Neo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the technical analysis and some of the insights that I provided for you. Please again subscribe, hit the like button, and also hit the notification bell as well. And look out for the next video. Thank you so much.